All right, let's cut the crap and get right into it. Madonna's Sticky and Sweet tour. Back in 2008, 2009, this thing was a total shit show.
It really was a global phenomenon.
Yeah, smashed records, pissed off a whole lot of people, and even had a freaking stage collapse.
You gotta understand the context, though. This was right after Madonna signed that massive 360 deal with Live Nation.
The $120 million one.
That's the one. It was a whole new game for the music industry, and this tour was basically her opening salvo.
And what a statement it was. 85 shows in 52 countries, something like 3.5 million fans.
And a staggering $408 million. That's almost $580 million in today's money.
Jesus. For a solo artist, it was the highest grossing tour ever at the time.
It was a huge middle finger to the industry, showed them that relying solely on album sales was well over.
So this tour was all about her Hard Candy album, right? But it wasn't just playing the album straight through.
No. This was a rock-driven, dance-tastic journey.
Sounds kind of pretentious.
Maybe a little. But it was a pretty accurate description, honestly.
Yeah.
The tour was split into 4 acts: Pimp, Old School, Gypsy, and Rave.
Okay, hold on. Break it down for us. What the hell did those actually look like?
Well, the Pimp section was all about 1920s deco, but with this modern gangster twist.
So like flappers and fedoras?
Exactly, and a whole lot of attitude.
Okay, I can kind of see it. What about Old School?
Old School channeled that early 80s New York City vibe. Breakdancing, graffiti,
It sounds like a goddamn mess.
Oh, it was. The best way possible. Then you had Gypsy, which was all Romani folk vibes. Bohemian, mystical feel, swirling skirts, acoustic guitars.
Okay, all right, I'm getting the picture here. And then Rave.
Full-blown assault on the senses.
Yeah.
Lasers, glow sticks, pounding techno.
So basically, she crammed like 40 years of pop culture into one show.
Pretty much. And to pull it off, she had this insane stage setup, a giant T-shaped stage with a runway, a freaking conveyor belt, and these 2 massive pink M's decked out in $2 million worth of Swarovski crystals.
$2 million in Swarovski crystals.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, talk about extra.
You haven't even heard the half of it. The stage also had 17 high-definition screens, some of them huge, blasting these crazy visuals.
Hold on, wasn't there some crazy tech involved too? I remember reading something about
Yeah, they had these cylindrical screens that would descend from the ceiling, displaying live footage from cameras in London, New York, and LA. They were using this cutting-edge software called XL&Ts and Motion 3D to integrate it all seamlessly into the show.
Damn, that's some next-level shit.
It really was. And we haven't even talked about the costumes.
Oh, the outfits. Where do we even begin? Givenchy, Stella McCartney, Jeremy Scott, Tom Ford.
All the big guns. And each designer's style was specifically chosen to reflect the different acts. Like, the Givenchy for the Pimp section was all that dominatrix vibe.
Leather, studs.
And those thigh-high boots, yeah.
And then Jeremy Scott did the Old School section, right? Wasn't there something about Keith Haring sneakers?
Yep. Custom made. And then Stella McCartney for the Gypsy section. Flowy fabrics, earthy tones, that whole bohemian feel.
So basically a fashion history lesson wrapped in a pop concert.
Pretty much. It was insane. But let's not forget, the music was supposed to be the star of the show, right?
Right. What was she actually singing?
She had this killer set list, mixed hard candy tracks with some of her classics, like A Prayer, Vogue.
And La Isla Bonita.
Of course, she even threw in Don't Cry for Me, Argentina at the Buenos Aires shows.
Talk about knowing your audience.
She's a pro, but what's really interesting is how she reinvented a lot of the older songs, gave them new arrangements, fresh visuals.
So even the classics had a new twist.
Yeah, like for Vogue, she had these dancers dressed as 1920s flappers doing this synchronized routine.
Damn, I bet that was something else. But let's be real. The Hard Candy album had some real duds on it. How did those songs hold up next to the classics?
They were actually surprisingly good live. The arrangements were more dynamic, the energy was amped up, and the visuals really elevated them.
So she managed to make even the shitty songs sound good. I guess that's why they call her the Queen.
She knows how to put on a show, that's for sure. But we haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet.
The controversies.
Oh yeah, this tour was a total shitstorm. It was 2008. Peak Britney Spears breakdown era, and Madonna decided to throw some serious shade during her performance of Human Nature.
Wait, what did she do? I vaguely remember something about this.
She had this video playing in the background that showed Britney Spears trapped in an elevator. It was a pretty clear dig at Britney's situation at the time, and the media went absolutely nuts.
Classic Madonna stirring the pot.
And that wasn't all. There was the John McCain-Hitler comparison in the Get Stupid video interlude, which pissed off a lot of Republicans.
Well, Yeah, I imagine comparing someone to Hitler would do that.
Then there was the Romanian concert where she spoke out against discrimination against the Romani people, and the crowd started booing her.
Damn, that's rough.
It was a total disaster. But even with all the drama, the tour was a massive success.
It was a phenomenon, really, both commercially and culturally. But we can't forget about the tragedy in Marseille.
Oh yeah, the stage collapse. That was a truly awful situation.
Devastating. During the stage setup, the roof collapsed, killing 2 workers and injuring others.
The concert had to be canceled, of course. Madonna visited the victims' families afterwards.
It's a reminder that behind all the glitz and glam, there are real people and real risks involved in putting on these massive productions.
Yeah, it puts things in perspective. But even with all that, the tour went on. It's crazy how much happened during those 2 years.
It was a whirlwind.
Yeah.
A total roller coaster. So where do we go from here?
Well, we could dive deeper into some of those controversies if you're up for it.
Bring on the drama.
So that whole Britney Spears thing with the elevator, it wasn't just a random jab.
Yeah, people were saying Madonna was exploiting Britney's breakdown just to get attention.
It definitely added fuel to the media circus, no doubt. But Madonna said later that it was meant to be a commentary on Britney's career and the media's portrayal of her.
So like a damsel in distress thing,
Yeah.
playing on that whole narrative around Britney.
Exactly. It was Madonna's way of, I don't know, maybe poking fun at the situation, but also making a point about how the media was treating Britney.
Yeah, that whole thing with the paparazzi hounding her was fucked up.
It was a dark time for Britney, for sure. And Madonna tried to address it in her own way, but it kind of backfired.
Okay, so then there's the whole John McCain-Hitler comparison.
Oh, yeah. That one really blew up, the Get Stupid video interlude, where she basically put McCain and Hitler in the same category.
Which, you know, might be a little extreme.
It was definitely a choice. But Madonna has never been one to shy away from controversy. She also had Obama in the video, by the way, juxtaposed with Gandhi and John Lennon.
So she wasn't exactly subtle about her political leanings.
Not at all. And it sparked this whole debate about whether pop stars should even be making political statements.
It's a debate that's still going on today, actually.
For sure. But back then it was even more controversial. People weren't used to pop stars being so overtly political.
So what was the public reaction like?
It was mixed. Her fans, for the most part, loved it.
They probably saw it as Madonna just being Madonna.
Exactly, speaking her truth. But the Republicans, they were not happy.
They must have been losing their minds.
They were pissed, called her disrespectful, unpatriotic, all that.
But come on, it's Madonna. What do they expect?
She's always going to push buttons. It's what makes her so fascinating.
But let's not forget, this was also a time of, like, major economic and social upheaval. The financial crisis, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Right, and climate change was becoming a bigger and bigger concern.
All of that was just feeding into this feeling of, like, anxiety and uncertainty.
Absolutely. And in a way, Madonna was just reflecting that.
Like she was tapping into those anxieties and giving them a voice.
Exactly. It's what great artists do. They hold up a mirror to society, even when it's uncomfortable.
So it wasn't just about Madonna being provocative just for the hell of it. She was actually trying to say something about the world.
Yeah. And whether you agree with her message or not, you can't deny that she was using her platform to make a statement.
Okay, so we've talked about Britney. We've talked about John McCain. What about that incident in Romania?
Oh, God. The Romanian concert. Talk about awkward.
Remind me what happened again.
Madonna's on stage, right? And she decides to speak out against discrimination against the Romani people.
Which is, you know, a good thing.
Totally. But the crowd started booing her.
What the fuck?
It was bad. This tense, uncomfortable vibe in the whole stadium.
So she got booed for trying to do the right thing.
Pretty much. It just shows the challenge of speaking out, even when you're Madonna.
Sometimes people just aren't ready to hear it.
Especially in a place like Romania with its history of prejudice and all that.
So even Madonna, with all her power and influence, couldn't change people's minds overnight.
Nope. Social change takes time. It's a messy process.
Okay, well, let's shift gears a bit.
Sure.
This tour was a massive commercial success, wasn't it?
It was a juggernaut. Over $400 million, which was unheard of for a solo artist back then.
So how did she pull it off?
Well, first of all, she's Madonna, a global icon with a huge fan base.
Yeah, that'll definitely give you a head start.
But she was also really smart about how she marketed and promoted the tour.
So she was a businesswoman as much as an artist.
Absolutely. She understood branding, merchandising, creating that spectacle people would pay to see.
And she wasn't afraid to take risks. The whole concept of the tour was pretty out there.
It was, but it paid off. Big time.
So what can we learn from Madonna here? Any takeaways for other artists trying to make it?
I think the biggest lesson is to push boundaries. Take risks, create something unique.
And be a damn good businesswoman.
Exactly. You can't just rely on talent alone. You got to understand the business side.
So basically, be like Madonna.
Pretty much. But on a serious note, her success wasn't overnight.
Right, she worked her ass off to get where she is.
There was hustle, there were setbacks, times when she probably wanted to quit.
But she didn't. That's what makes her so inspiring.
For sure. Anything's possible if you work for it and don't give up.
Okay, so we've covered the controversies, the success, the hard work. But there's still that one thing in Marseille.
Yeah. That was a dark moment, for sure.
Can you remind everyone what happened?
During the stage setup, the roof collapsed.
Killing 2 workers and injuring a bunch of others.
It was a horrific accident. Really cast a shadow over the whole tour.
So how did Madonna respond?
She was devastated, of course. She canceled the show and went to visit the families of the victims.
That was the right thing to do.
It was. Showed that even though she's this larger-than-life figure, she's still human.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that sometimes.
It really is. But tragedies like that remind us that there are real people behind all the spectacle.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. But what about the music itself?
Right. Let's get into that.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So let's talk music. Was it all hard candy, or did she throw in some classics?
Oh, she gave the fans what they wanted. Mixed hard candy tracks with hits like A Prayer, Vogue.
La Isla Bonita, I hope.
Of course. And she even played Don't Cry for Me, Argentina in Buenos Aires.
Smart move. But did she play the old songs straight up, or did she mix things up?
Oh, she reinvented a lot of them. New arrangements, fresh visuals. Like for Vogue, she had dancers dressed as 1920s flappers doing this synchronized routine. It was amazing.
Damn. So even the old shit got a makeover. But how did the hard candy songs hold up against the classics?
You know what? They were actually pretty good live. The arrangements were way more dynamic, the energy was there, and the visuals really helped.
Give me an example.
Well, for 4 Minutes, which was originally a duet with Justin Timberlake, she had these giant digital clocks on stage counting down, and the choreography was really intense, all sharp movements and synchronized dancing. It was like a mini action movie happening on stage.
Damn, that does sound pretty epic. But wasn't there some criticism of the music on this tour?
Yeah, some critics thought the hard candy stuff was weak compared to her older work, and they said the show lacked the thematic depth of some of her other tours.
So too much style, not enough substance.
Basically, yeah. A little too commercial, too focused on the spectacle.
Which is kind of funny, right? Because she was still making those political statements and pissing people off.
True, but I think some critics missed the more provocative, challenging Madonna.
The one who wasn't afraid to really fuck shit up.
Exactly. But, you can't please everyone.
Nope, not even Madonna.
Yeah.
So the tour was a huge commercial success, obviously. But what kind of lasting impact did it have on the music industry?
It really raised the bar in terms of production. The massive stage, the visuals, the costume changes, the technology.
It's like a Broadway show on steroids.
Exactly. It paved the way for artists like Beyoncé, Gaga, Taylor Swift, all those huge, elaborate tours we see today. Madonna did it first.
So she was a pioneer, basically.
Absolutely. She showed the world what a pop concert could be, turned it into a full-blown experience.
And she did it all at 50, which is pretty badass.
Right. She was proving that age is just a number. And she did it all on her own terms without compromising her vision.
Pretty inspiring when you think about it.
It is. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from this Sticky and Sweet tour. It's a testament to her drive, her creativity, her business savvy, and her commitment to pushing boundaries.
Pissing people off.
Oh, absolutely. That's Madonna for you.
So there you have it. Madonna's Sticky and Sweet tour, music, spectacle, controversy, and triumph. It was a defining moment in her career, and it definitely left a mark on pop culture.
It was a phenomenon, one that continues to inspire and provoke to this day.
So what do you think? Was it all style and no substance? Or was there more to it than that? Let us know. We're curious to hear your thoughts.